Okay, good morning one more time. And happy Easter. And Easter is always kind of a time of new beginning. And actually we can see a lot of new flowers, new leaves coming out, and new grass coming. And also today is kind of really bright. And I can see from this stained glass kind of really bright light coming in. And it's actually a great time of new life and hope. And isn't that so? Do you think so? Yes, I believe so. And also, for us, Unification Church members, Easter is probably the most important Christian celebration because our church's foundation is the meeting our true Father had with Jesus on 1935 on that Easter morning. And we read about that, we heard about that just now in the passage reading from True Parents' words in the autobiography. In fact, actually today is the 80th anniversary of that meeting. And did you remember about that? Yes. And actually yesterday, I was reminded by Mr. Graham. He sent me a short email, and it was great. I want to thank Mr. Graham for reminding me that. And I think it is very, very phenomenal that 80th anniversary of Father's meeting with Jesus, and Father had a just one-by-one meeting with him. Then from that point, we are now here, so many hundreds of thousands of people all around the world, inheriting that vision from Jesus, that vision from our true parents, and we became really big. That's amazing. And even though that's why this Easter is very, very special. Do you want to greet each other? Do you want to take a minute to greet each other and really celebrate that Easter happiness and the happiness of founding our church? Wow, nice to see everyone moving. Do all of you have happy Easter plans? Maybe taking your family for a lunch or maybe cooking some special food? Not yet? Good idea. My kids were kind of trying to persuade Rani yesterday to have some, then they called my mother. Then they told them that we miss your food and we don't have that kind of, anyway, we have some special items always my mother make in my home, but it's so hard to make that here. We don't get the ingredients, right ingredients, and so it's very hard. But she made something really special. And going back to Father's meeting with Jesus, as we heard from that Hunduk passage itself, that first meeting Father had with Jesus, that day wasn't just a pleasant, happy Easter day. And it wasn't a moment where Father felt, wow, I find all the answers for everything. Let me go back and let me run after and let me share that with everyone. Father was very, very sad and very, very overwhelmed with agony. Oh my God, this is what Jesus was going through, and this is what God was going through. And I can't even take up this mission. This is beyond my capacity. I can't handle this. That's why Father said, no, I can't do this. It's beyond my capacity. The Jesus Father met that morning wasn't a happy Jesus who was claiming that, oh, I resurrected, I regained everything. And he wasn't a Jesus bragging for his accomplishments. And he was again saying that God is so concerned about humanity. I am concerned about humanity. I still worry, who can continue this mission? Who can champion for God, bringing salvation to the entire humanity? And who can really champion for God's plan for humanity? Jesus was looking for someone. Jesus needed someone to continue that. We may think Jesus is all powerful. Jesus is sitting in the right side of God and choosing who should go to heaven and who should go to hell, and very, very powerfully sitting there and then happily choosing people to go to, some of them to go to heaven and some of them, oh, you didn't do enough, so you go to hell, and that kind of just powerfully enjoying his life after he resurrected. But that wasn't the Jesus our true Father met on that 1935 Easter morning. That Jesus was a person who is still very sad in his heart and still very, very, very anguished about the future of humanity. Anguish, concerned about how I can bring God's love and God's care and God's real oneness with God, how I can bring that to humanity. That was the concern that Jesus had. And here finally, true Father, young Reverend Moon, he agreed to that. I will champion for you, Jesus. I will champion for you, God. I can take up this mission. I can do this. That why Jesus could not share that with everyone up until that time? Of course, we can see in history there were several people received some kind of revelations that Jesus is not just happy and powerful, but until the time of true parents and true Father, no one could fully understand the suffering heart of Jesus and suffering heart of God. And I have just one of my life story I want to share with you, and that was my experience with my parents, particularly with my father, around the time when I was 7 or 8 years old. My father lost his business, kind of really went down, and then he could not earn anything with that business. He had a successful trucking business. Then somehow he thought lumber business would be more nicer, so he started that. And soon after he started, it kind of totally, he lost that business. Then he couldn't make any money out of that, so he was looking for other jobs. And also it was so tough for him, being a successful business owner, then everything lost, then look for other part-time jobs and other, it was very hard. Then I remember, but we didn't understand everything what is going on, but my father started working, and sometimes he would disappear from home like 10 days, 12 days working. Then he will come back. But always when he comes back, he brings a lot of chocolates and sweets. We are so happy. But my mother is always very, very nervous when my father is not there. My mother would say special prayers for his safety. And I even remember my mother is praying that, God, please help us to restart our trucking business. And anyway, but we were very happy because when father comes, he is very happy. He brings a lot of wonderful chocolates, really nice ones, which we don't usually get in our neighborhood and in our village. So we are very happy. We were very, very happy about that. And then he would go for this job maybe once in a month or once in 2 months. and then other times he is with us. He had that job probably 1 or 2 years he used to do that. And as I said, we children were very happy, but my mother is very worried and concerned, but we didn't really understand why she is worried. We thought that's really nice. But later, after some time, I heard somehow after we grew a little bit older, probably near to 13 or 14, somehow they explained what was the job father doing. He would go to kind of thousands of miles away from my hometown area and bringing truck chassis to our home state. In our home state, we didn't have any truck manufacturers. So someone had to drove these truck chassis almost 2,000 miles. And that was actually very, very dangerous back in those days in India. There was highways are not like here, and very dangerous roads. And same time, he had to drive so many miles through wilderness. And sometimes they can easily get attacked by people, attacked by thieves, and then lose their life. Several times we heard stories about that. And then, but as kids, we never heard this reality, what is in reality going on. But we were very happy receiving that chocolates and receiving sweets when our father comes back. And he never shared the difficulties that time. And then, later when we heard how much difficulty he was going through, kind of really putting his life in danger in order to support our family, especially his concern towards his children. And he did not even share that because he didn't want we as children to worry about that. He didn't want us to feel bad about that, but he wanted us to really enjoy a peaceful life and life which is kind of really feel protected life. He didn't want us to feel kind of worry and uncertainty in our life. And I felt that was a kind of really parental love. Many times when parents go through difficulties, they wouldn't tell us. But they are behind the scenes, they are actually struggling. Behind the scenes, they are actually really struggling to overcome their difficulties and struggling to find out different ways to support families or guide children and guiding somehow go through those difficulties. And while I was preparing through my sermon, I thought probably Jesus must have been struggling all throughout these years. God must be struggling as a parent who doesn't want to share their difficulties with their children, but really allowing us to feel the comfort of their protection, the comfort of their being with us and protecting us. We all who believe in Jesus, believed in his resurrection, believed in his death, burial, and resurrection, feel that we are actually protected. In fact, we are spiritually protected because we believe in Jesus. And by going through that passion, by going through that resurrection, Jesus actually brought us a new life. And Jesus brought a new life to the people. Jesus, under the wings of Jesus, under the wings of God, we could feel that comfort. We could feel that, oh, Jesus did everything for me. And Jesus brought me back to God. Now I can feel God. And that was in Christianity. We had that experience. We still have that experience. But look at that meeting Jesus had with true Father. Once Jesus had a person who Jesus felt, I can share this with this person. I can share my heart with this person. Jesus was pouring out He's suffering with that person. Oh, this is what I was going through. And this is what God is going through. God needs a champion. God needs one person who can lead the entire humanity towards God. Can you be that person? Can you lead this humanity towards God? I did that. I did my maximum capacity. I did everything I could do. Even the way he was going towards cross. In one sense, if we look towards Jesus' life and the accomplishments he had, we could feel, we could see, it wasn't so much that time. But the way he went onto the cross, that was amazing. He did not regret it, why he chose that life. Even when at the very last moment of his life, he believed in that first cause, he committed to God. He believed that God is his parent and his parent has a clear plan for him. And he believed that. And then because of that conviction he had, he turned around everything. He turned that big failure into the biggest victory happened in the entire history. We are sitting on top of that. We are able to, the Christianity, that his movement was able to continue because he overturned that failure into a big victory. And again, we can see after Jesus' meeting with True Father also had similar experience. Father was, God and Jesus prepared the entire Christian foundation to receive him. But that wasn't an easy welcoming thing. He had to go everywhere, and finally being as a rejected person, then he had to approach individuals one by one. And here we are as people who respond to that, people who understand that vision, people who respond to that positively and say, yes, Father, yes, true parents, we will follow you. And through that, we said yes to God. We said to God that we believed in God's purpose for humanity. And now, on that foundation, our true parents made this amazing movement in order to give salvation to entire humanity. And we also, on true parents' investment, actually, even though many times we all see great accomplishments, and same time, we have, actually true parents have many untold difficulties they were going through. Many untold miseries their family, we know so many of them, but there are so many we never even heard about that. Sometimes we heard right now some stories, some of the elder members will share, oh, this happened when father was at this age, something like that. We hear right now sometimes new stories we hear, but they were going through amazingly difficult life in order to save all of us. And because of that, we were able to receive blessing, and people who receive blessing, and we are protected by that blessing. We are protected under the wings of true parents, and still they are protecting us. And actually, when we think about that, why Jesus had to go through that difficulty? Why our true parents had to go through that difficulty? The reason why sometimes we feel Jesus had to go through that difficulty because Judas betrayed him. And sometimes we feel that because they had to go through that difficulty because John the Baptist did not support him. Or sometimes we feel that Jewish leaders did not support him. It's not only that. The very reason why Jesus had to be crucified on that cross was just because he loved God more than everything. And he loved each and every one of us. He loved me and you more than everything. And that's why Jesus had to face that crucifixion. The thing hanged him on the cross wasn't the nails. It was the love he had towards God and towards the entire humanity, towards each and every one of us. Even towards the people who lived and died even before the coming of him, he loved them. That's why he had to go to that cross. While he was even hanging down on that cross, he was thinking about him. Forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. But I know what I am doing. I am taking responsibility for everyone, and I am here. It's my responsibility. And same way, True Father also went on to this mission. Even though everyone rejected, even though hundreds of people rejected, thousands of prepared organizations, prepared churches rejected, Father went on to this mission because he committed to God. He committed in front of Jesus, through Jesus to God, that I am here to save humanity from their misery. And he loved each and every one of us. Sometimes we don't understand true parents fully well. Many times we don't understand why so many things happen in true parents' life in so many mysterious ways. Actually, all throughout this entire Christian history, Jesus could not convey that to everyone. Like right now, actually this Passion Week is also called Mystery Week. The Monty Thursday is called Monty means like a mysterious Thursday. No one knows why it happened that way. No one knows why the person who came as the King of Jews had to be killed, and then his own very disciple had to betray him. Then suddenly everything coming into as a glorification. Then suddenly Easter is happy. Why is that? I got wanted. I couldn't understand, even though I was very, very practicing devout Christian person. I couldn't understand. And it was a mystery for everyone. That's why it is a mystery. It's a mysterious things going on. Even when we read Bible, we can say it's surrounding so many mysterious things, because Jesus could not say that to everyone. There was no point of telling that to everyone who were not able to take that, who were not able to understand that. And here again, many times in true parents' life also, so many things no one could understand. None of us can understand. But same time, we believe that through them we are saved, and everything will come to an understanding one by one. As time passes by, things will get unfold as we grow older and older. Just like my parents were telling me, and when I was a child, they told me, don't worry about everything. Everything is good. I give you nice candy and sweets, and we were very happy. But after some time, when I became older, they told me bit by bit so many difficulties which they had to go through. And then when I getting older and older, I could take more and more responsibility. I could understand, now I have to take responsibility for that. Now I can do this. And that way, when we are getting older and older, several times, true parents are also revealing things, telling us things, but many times we misunderstand very easily. Very easily we tell, no, this is not the way I came. This is not the way I understand God. I understand God. This is not the way I understand Jesus. This is not the way I understood true parents before. Many times we go through such kind of dilemmas in our life. But believe that they were doing for us. They were pioneering a path for us in order to make everything easy for us. In order to make everything manageable for us. They were actually going through tremendous difficulties. The early Christian missionaries and early Christians had to go through amazingly difficult times in order to even to understand who Jesus is. And if we read like in the early times when Christianity was being formed in North Africa and Asia, like Mr. George is here, I had in Syria was the first time Christianity formed as Christianity. And Mr. George Davis is own country, isn't it? That's, yeah. And that time, no one could understand what is that. And same like that, here also, when the time here, when our movement being formed, none of us could understand what is going on. And right now, we are going through, actually last few weeks, I was talking to many of our older members who were sharing about our early times, and something I was talking about father's life. And then that member was actually not one person, I was talking to several people, and some of them were telling me that in early times in Korea, Father misunderstood a lot. Father God misunderstood a lot. Sometimes people could not understand why Messiah had to be married. Why Messiah is getting married. They thought Messiah means just a single individual, a single male leading everything. And then later actually several people left during that time. Then again, I heard when at the time father and mother started their family life and mother started sitting together with father, that was a big shock for everyone. Why mother is sitting there? She should be just serving father. Why she is right now leading things? She shouldn't be involved in this kind of things. That was a big difficulty for many early Korean elder members. And again, I heard in America, so many people joined in early times by seeing the humble attitude of father, how simple life he is leading, how simply he is taking care of other people. And one time, when father came with a nicer suit, some people asked, how father can spend money like this? And he is spending money for himself. No, he must not be the Messiah. He is not the Messiah. I had several people left our movement during that time. Then again, I heard in 70s when our movement started creating so many other organizations, like I don't know in 70s what all organizations being created in 70s and 80s. So many, like maybe UPF or Interreligious Federation and all those things, several people complained. How is it possible? Messiah must be a religious leader. He should not do anything like that. He shouldn't get involved in business. He shouldn't get involved in interfaith things. He must not be Messiah. Let me get out of my this kind of unnecessary thing. I want to focus my life properly. I want to be this way. This is the way I came in. This is the way I understood. Let me lead the way I understood. And several people left that time. And I felt, and that person, some of them were telling me that it was always in us. People could not understand. We could not understand. The world could not understand two parents. And the world could not understand what kind of difficulty they are going through. And today, as we look back to Jesus' time, we see very, very clearly, in a much, much clearer way, we can feel that, oh, that was Jesus' mission very clear. Why people misunderstood that time? It wasn't for them. It wasn't anything like that. We can see right now because we grown from that foundation, we learn much more things, and then we can see that very clearly. But same mistake, many times, same difficulties we go through. Not only in a movement level, many times we go through difficulties in our own life. Many times we feel that this is not the way I understood life. This is not the way I wanted to have my life. This is not the thing I intended to live in this movement or in this church. Let me lead as my own way. On this Easter morning, while we are talking about all the amazing things happening around Easter, new life, new resurrection, finding new meanings in our life, I want to really, really, for all of us to revisit our original intention, that original motive we joined with this amazing organization True Parents founded. And we all wanted to create that beautiful world by following True Parents. We buy into that vision because we had a pure motivation. But over the years, many times, we faced so many difficulties in our life. We faced so many difficulties in our personal life, or even family life, or even our communal life. We could not see a lot of progress sometimes. Even though there are amazing progress, many times it's not so visible. And also many times we don't know how, we are not able to comprehend the way we are growing. And that's why I really like to really revisit that original motive we had when we joined, and then use this time of rebirth and new life, this Easter time, to revisit the original intention of God, the original intention Jesus had towards humanity, the original intention our two parents had and two parents have towards humanity. And still, actually, two parents are with us. They are guiding us in everything. They are still with us and guiding us in everything, so that we can easily, right now, we can understand. Anytime, whenever we are not able to understand something, revisit the intention Jesus had. Revisit, check about that, read about that, and try to inherit Jesus to our life, and try to embody, try to be in their position and understand. Then it is much, much easier for us to understand our two parents. And then we won't be able to fade away ourselves from this vision we inherited from two parents. And many times when we struggle, try to root ourselves into this soil of our culture, and try to dig ourselves into God's words and two parents' words, so that we can find new life in our own personal life. We can find new flowers blooming in our families. We can find new sprouts coming in our community. only if we really revisit to our original motive we had, and that which is the original motive of our true parents and the original motive of Jesus, and that's in fact the real heart of God. That heart is weeping, still weeping towards humanity, still weeping towards the entire population, for me and you and every human being live on this earth. On this Easter morning, please really take your time to revisit that motive Jesus had. Jesus tried to convey to each and every one of us. True parents trying to convey to each and every one of us. And several times recently, I heard from True Mother, are you with me? Do you understand me? Just like while Jesus was going towards cross, at the very, very last words to Peter, he asked, are you sure you are with me? Are you sure you understand me fully? And that's what God is looking towards. Jesus is looking towards us. True parents are looking towards us on this Easter morning. Do we understand them? Do we understand them completely? We can't just say, I understand a little bit, okay, I'm doing whatever I can do. We have to understand them with all of our heart. We have to be a being of full embodiment of our true parents, full embodiment of Jesus, so that we can completely be with them, so that we can completely able to bring new sprouts of life on this Easter morning in our life. And we can share that new life to other people. And we can as a just new flowers, new tulips coming out of this from below the earth and give fragrance and give beautiful feelings to other people. We can be that way when we are rooted in faith and coming and blossom ourselves into a new time. And please be that on this Easter morning and be a blessing for everyone around you, and be a champion for God, and be a champion for Jesus, and be for our true parents. May God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on this Sunday morning. Happy Easter.